What's going on, fellow A-Plussers? It is I, your Morphinominal host, back once again with another Zenkaiger review, as we're about to go ahead and get into episode number 31 for you guys today as we continue along with this series. Happy Toku Tuesday! I feel like it's been a minute since I've had the opportunity to actually announce that here when it comes to Zenkaiger, because sometimes I feel like, especially since, you know, Toei had their strike, if you will, on a bunch of fan sub sites, the idea of being able to get some of these English subs, while certainly still getting them, definitely on and off in regards to what days they tend to land on sometimes. Ever since then, I certainly feel like, but super appreciative of it for sure. Everybody in secret doing fan subs, still providing them for us. I really do appreciate it. It certainly does go a long way because we are here to go ahead and get into another episode. And can I be honest with you guys? This was a decent episode. It was okay to me. Nothing too crazy. Some lackluster elements that we'll certainly go ahead and talk about. And some things that I thought were actually pretty damn cool and pretty amazing in this episode that we'll definitely go ahead and talk with you guys about. But remember, as always, these are simply just my A-plus opinions. I always want to know yours, so let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below. And again, you guys know I've said this a bajillion times. When it comes to Zenkaiger and myself, very much love-hate relationship. There are some days where I just cannot stand these episodes. Other days I absolutely love it. I wish it was a little bit more consistent, but there is a part of me that as we get deeper and deeper into October, I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm really looking forward to some trademark rumors and some trademark information from Super Sentai to truly get hyped for whatever the upcoming season is certainly going to be. It could be trash for all I certainly know, but I definitely need that level of excitement when it comes to Super Sentai to get me revved up once again for the upcoming Super Sentai season. So with that out of the way, we'll certainly see. I'm hoping that we get some announcements here in the next 2 weeks, but we'll definitely go ahead and keep you posted once new information does in fact drop. But today, guys, let's go ahead and dive a little bit into episode number 30 as we got the opportunity to see Dairy World being the villain of the week. We also wind up getting ourselves the return of Hakaiser that continues to play a rather significant role throughout this season, and some new weapon powers, mecha debuts that really just kind of blew me away in this episode. But really the first question that I have to ask when it comes to the character in Dairy World, are those udders? This monster literally have udders? Like are his arms cow nipples? I'm wondering if that's the case, because we just see Dairy World come into this episode just spewing his milk all over the place, or her milk I should probably say. I don't know how that works, but we just see the Dairy World just spewing milk all over the place. That effectively winds up turning everything white in this episode. I honestly thought it was personally a pretty stupid power. I'm trying to figure out like what the idea of turning everything white certainly would do, with the exception of maybe changing light colors at the stoplight, so maybe you cause more car accidents. But it doesn't feel like it's that intimidating of a power. Like you can't just repaint over stuff eventually, or whatever the case may be. So it felt like a really lackluster power. I literally just wanted to know if they wanted to create a character with udders. Because it felt a little bit meaningless to me. And I did have a moment of kind of scratching my head when it comes to Dairy World, where I wonder how he even affected Sichan, along with the secret base for our Zenkaigers, along with Kaido's parents' data, right? Like he didn't come up into their candy shop, or, you know, and just spew them with milk. So I'm wondering how that wind up affecting Sichan at the end of the day. So it did make me a little bit scratching my head. Didn't really make any sense to me in regards to exactly how that worked, unless they were really trying to force just some sort of really personal and emotional moment between Sichan along with Kaido, which I didn't mind in here. I mean, listen, you know, Sichan is a character that Kaido's parents created for him, that I think he kind of grew up with him for majority of his life, if I'm not mistaken. Granted, Sichan, I don't believe, was that active and like awake during that time until Kaido's parents wind up going missing. But you know, it's like having your favorite teddy bear, having your favorite blanket, right? Something that you've grown up with your whole entire life, and to kind of see Si-chan kind of be blank and kind of forget everything about who you are, especially that being, along with his grandmother, maybe being the last sort of connections that he has to his parents. I definitely understand the emotional effect that I wind up having on Kaido in this episode, and I thought it was pretty nice. Small time period, you know, small amount of time to focus on, but just to get an opportunity to see Kaido shed some tears over his friend, I thought actually went a long way. So clearly a displeasure in Dairy World in regards to why we have this character this week, what was the point, and how did his powers actually work to even affect Si-chan. If you guys can clear that up for me, please let me know in the comment section box below. But Hakaiser is certainly here also, and I continue to really enjoy this character's sort of personality. He's very much more lighthearted than you certainly would expect. Definitely a much more positive mindset. He kind of really reminds me of like the Toji Tendo's Kaido. He really does in regards to just his mindset. Clearly enjoys what he's doing, got that positive outcome, trying to protect the Toji Tendo monsters and things like that of the week. So it definitely feels very much like, if I had to assume, very much like Zox does by the end of this episode. He definitely feels like he's got Kaido's dad's personality. And because of that personality that we see, it still does beg the question as to whether or not, is that his dad actually under the armor, or is it just his father's sort of data and brainwaves sort of infused with this body that maybe Ichirud put together from some of the schematics that his father wind up having. But regardless if it's an actual body or if it's just his mind inside of this body, I do like the idea that it's certainly a mystery that continues to evolve, and the fact that we got somebody like Zox that's even picking up on that finally now, I definitely do think that this storyline is going to go a really long way. It's one I'm really looking forward to. Like, now that we know that Kaido's mom has escaped, she's kind of on the run through multiple universes, which they still haven't bothered to go back out and certainly try and find her, which I'm certainly waiting for them to do so. I mean, you guys have got Zox, you have the ability to do it. Why aren't you looking for his mom? We'll definitely have to see. But I gotta say, quick shout out to Zox in here. I just love the fact that Zox is the type of person that's always up for a fight, and he wants it with like the biggest and baddest person in the room. I mean, the guy knows that he's more than capable, more than powerful, and ready to go ahead and take this guy down. I thought it was a pretty cool moment for Zox in here to kind of show up wanting a little bit of a showdown himself. But really, if there was anything that really kind of blew my mind this week, it's definitely all the debuts that we wind up getting in here. Now, while we were officially introduced to the full power Zenkai Cannon last week, we are discovering from Si-chan that there are more abilities that this cannon can certainly do that even the Toji Tendo didn't even barely tap into. And not only just powers, but like a new formation where we wind up getting to see a new combination between some of our mechas. I mean, I guess for me, the biggest question I gotta ask is, this is it, right? Like, this is like all the power-ups that the Zenkaigers are certainly gonna get, right? Because it feels like these guys continue to just get upgrades, power-ups, really cool, unique abilities and stuff. So now that we have what they're calling as the full power ZenkaiOh, this thing looks absolutely massive. Like, so massive in point that they really had to even come up with a complete CGI Zord to even move it around during the streets of Tokyo or in Japan, wherever they certainly are. So this thing is absolutely massive, and just based off of its power set, like, I can't imagine that there's something else that the Toji Tendo possibly has outside of Bokawas maybe himself that's ever gonna be able to take down the powers and the mechas that our Zenkaigers have. I mean, look, we're 31 episodes into the season. We're almost at the finish line here as we hopefully close in on the 40s rather soon here. This is it, right? Like, I haven't caught up with any of the magazine scans, but I gotta think this is like the most powerful mecha that they're possibly going to get. Again, you want to talk about the emphasis of where the attention to detail is when it comes to Zenkaiger. Not so much on the story as it is toy sales, and I really would be curious to know what the toy sales are like for Zenkaiger, because with all the cool designs and abilities that they've given these characters and stuff, I got to think it's being rather successful, but we'll definitely see here. But let's go ahead and examine at least the Zenkai Cannon a little bit, as again, we do see that Sichin discovers more secrets that are certainly hidden. And this is a weapon that you guys know. I love cannons, I love bazookas, I love blasters, and I continue to love the design for the Zenkai Cannon, especially the gigantic dial that it certainly has that allows you to pick sort of the different genre of categories that you can certainly choose from. Like I think I saw space up there. I think I even saw like a gigantic fist, which I would assume would be like maybe martial arts, if you will. There's even like I want to say there's like a dinosaur on here, an animal one, and they chose the beast genre for them to utilize. So we got the opportunity to see Zenkaiger really bringing forth a brand new team. And if you ask me, this feels very much like an advantage for the Zenkaigers, because not only do the Zenkaigers have literally 6 members of their own already, but if they're busy with something else, Zenkaiger can literally call upon 4 other ones. So we've got like Zenkaigers literally a team of like 10 if they absolutely need to. I mean, how big of an advantage is that already? But I absolutely loved some of the choices of the characters that they wind up utilizing in here. Just incredible stuff, man, in regards to the abilities that they certainly have. And so in case that power wasn't crazy enough for you to certainly see utilized in maybe last week's episode, we now get the opportunity to see that there's also a flight mode. So not only is it a cannon that you can utilize to like everybody put their power together to shoot down if you want to, but now you can literally toss it in the air and it becomes like a jet plane, which I thought was super cool. So now it becomes its own machine for Zenkaiser to certainly fly around in, which I personally really dig, because he hasn't really had his own mecha, if you will, or his own machine. Everybody else certainly has been able to form into whatever case they might be, with the exception of maybe the ZenkaiOh, that Zenkaiser literally turns into. But to be able to have like a machine of your own, I thought was actually pretty cool. I believe they call it the Full Power Eagle, if I'm not mistaken. Cool design though, and great cockpit. But even if that wasn't enough, right? So we got the Zenkai Cannon, the Full Power Eagle. Now it actually combines as well. The machine combines to form a huge mecha, and you get the opportunity to form everybody in this. And I believe is this their first time that they've been able to put 5 mechas together? I'm trying to remember 2 Kaiser's mecha and what that turns into. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm going blank, guys. But I love the combination in here, and getting to see everybody taking part. I even think the cockpit design is actually pretty cool, where you got the pictures of all the other Zenkaigers. You can still communicate with one another. You know, you can make dang it, what was the word I was looking for? Suggestions, right, as to what power should certainly come up next. I think we got to see Vroom, Majin. I think even Jurin wind up getting in on the fun a little bit, using some rather unique powers. But I thought the Full Power Zenkai-Oh was massive. A surprisingly big design, and one that I actually kind of dig. I feel like I've seen a lot of really bulky Zord combinations before in the past, that's really kind of left me like, ugh, like that's the placement that they decided to put some of the extra pieces of the Zords. Like sometimes these Zord combinations can be out of control, but I actually did not mind the design that we wind up getting for the Full Power Zenkai-Oh. I thought for the most part it was pretty clean. A lot of pieces, but I thought they found smart homes for all those pieces, especially when it winds up turning into the CG mode. And I'm still trying to debate how I feel about the full CGI mode, because we got to see the Full Power Zenkai-Oh face off against not one but 2 monsters towards the end, one that was certainly bigger than the other. But just based off of its like maneuverability, it had this thing literally rolling down the streets, jumping on top of like buildings before landing a gigantic strike and stuff. So there are elements of the special effects that do tend to sometimes pull me out. So I feel like I'm very middle of the road right now. I'm not sure if I felt like those were decently quality CGI, or if the CGI could have certainly have been a little bit better. I'm very much middle of the road, but the fact that this Zord is so gigantically big that they literally probably can't even fuse it together with a live body sort of suit, if you will, I think really says something in regards to how massive and powerful this thing is. But I dug it. I really dug the Zenkai Cannon, the full power Eagle, and even the full power Zenkai-Oh. I know I complain a lot about the idea that this is truly just a toy season, but I'm actually a big fan of a lot of the new designs that they wind up debuting for us here in this episode. And I'm kind of curious if what you guys feel about it. A little messy? Do you like the combination? Do you like the special effects, how everything's coming together and being utilized? I would like to know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. But I gotta think that's it, right? Like, I gotta think that this is the biggest and baddest Zord that the Zenkaigers will come up and have in their arsenal. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. But listen, overall, I felt like the debuts of all the powers and the machines and mechas that we got put this episode over to a little bit more of an enjoyable episode for me. So I thought it was okay. I didn't mind it this week. But as far as like legit storyline, pushing the story forward, with the exception of maybe some hints like, ooh, Zox thinks he knows something, outside of that, the udders and the milk this week, not really needed, honestly. But that, hey, again, these are just simply my A+ opinions. At the end of the day, though, I want to go ahead and know yours. What did you guys think of episode number 31 of Zenkaiger? Are you still loving this series, this season, enjoying what they've been giving you so far? A little bit bummed, like me, looking forward to trademark rumors? Go ahead and let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below. And until next week, guys, we'll certainly be here with another review. So check out all our content throughout the rest of the week and join us Saturday as we go live every Saturday at noon Central Time. But until then, and until next week, I'll see you guys later. So do me a big favor, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. Bye, guys.